Hey guys, Francis the Market Sniper, the Crypto Sniper, the Reset Sniper, all things sniping, particularly cryptos at the moment. Ethereum, Bitcoin, 30 minutes. Going to take you into this pattern setup. Principle of continuations apply. In fact, I'm going to leave the Coinbase version because that's a bit of a deceptive wick that they've got up there. And I'm going to take you to the Polynex, which is one of the biggest, along with Kraken. Only we're not getting polys. There it is, actually, right on it. So that's even messier, as I've done a whole bunch of drawings on it from before. Let's go to somewhere else. Excuse me while I fiddle. I've done a nice drawing on it, and now I've lost it. Let's go Bitfinex. We haven't used that. Slightly different on Bitfinex. It's interesting to have a look at them all across all exchanges. It's not a bad process that I'm doing here, not intended, but it's not a bad process because you get slightly different views and perspectives on them. You might wonder, what's he on about? They look identical. I can actually see different structure in them. Who do we like next? Let's go back to the Polynex. I just really didn't want all the lines I'd drawn from previous, but never mind, we'll do a tidy up another time on that. Trading view, wanting to keep everything forever. I wish there was a nice clean all button. Who's a boffin on them? Let's just see. Anyway, it was meant to be a short clip and now I'm busy faffing around. There we go. That's it. Sorry for that little bit of organizational thinking aloud. Let's get ready to rumble and talk to you about Ethereum, Bitcoin. This is what I'm seeing. So what you'll learn about trading if you come on a program, and I'll share one point with you, is when you get hammers that shows buying support, buying support, buying support, little dip, buying support, little dip, buying support. And of course big dip, quite a bit bigger buying support, was a red candle, but then it rallied back up. So the volatility has calmed down out of it. So this increase here is less extreme than that increase there, for example. And we've topped out. We had a little bit of a top out, but we've held that level. This is showing you there's major buyers somewhere here. Why? Because it's been tested and repeatedly and failed. So at 13.4s, the guys are coming in all day long. So every time you get run through the 13.4s, you're getting bounced back up. And this is in a bull trend. You don't need me to tell you that. Bounce back up, bounce back up, bounce back up, bounce back up. So the buyers come under it, and there's a thick wedge of wannabe buyers there. And you see this defensive retreat, but by no means capitulation. Buying support coming up underneath this. So what eventually people become aware of is that there's a proper layer of buying coming under, and this starts not to get filled, and it gets impatient and it starts inching up under this pattern. At the moment, the people that were a bit scared, it's done so much, they were selling off every time it's getting 15.4s. So my take for the minimum target, bear in mind we have been getting overperformance on balance of probabilities. This is not a fixed outcome game. This is what the market tends to give you. You just get a slightly higher probability depending on the pattern performing. And where would that take us? Well, if we ended up with my draw, I would be putting it in and around, you're going to have a run through the 16.5s. That's right, 16.5s to Bitcoin, and that takes you through that level there, and that's roughly where I see us playing it out. So that is your structure for your potential trade in the event of this breaking, as we would. Seen the volume on the top out there. We saw the volume come in the support here, key level of significance and support, a layer of hard rock here on the 13.5s and below. And there's even been some nibble buying higher up, nibble buying jumping in front, nibble buying, and so we'll see. And will we get a little dip through that line, or is that going to be a squeeze before squeeze? We don't know. It can churn and mess around for a while, but it might be interesting. It might be interesting to watch Ethereum get any sign that it takes out this relative high. You see, we made marginally lower highs here, there, on this little downtrend, and then we stopped on that downward trend. That high went slightly higher than that one, and we've not made a lower low. We're calling that the low 2. So you might get a slightly lower low dip just through that line, and then you might rally up. For me, the minute you start trading through here, it's becoming very close to potential breakout time. That's the 1420. There you go. You got a trade out of me, 1420 to 16.5. It's a nice percentage move. It's good work if you can get a 2.3 over 14.2. Looking at about 1:7 ish, 1:7 point something. So decent. You're going to be about 12-13% to the good on that move. So let's see what happens. Also, Bitcoin being pretty weak against the fiats. So let's do the dollar. The Fed was talking today, or is talking today. You can see that's pretty ugly charting, all falling over, rolling over, smashed down there. It's still in a bit nervous a market for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin hasn't been so strong. Didn't make a lower low. I don't like that particularly. That could mean further continuation for downside later on for Bitcoin. So we're doing jaws and we're checking it out. So that's a little bit about that. And then I did mention Ripple. And once again, just keep half an eye on it. That's quite spiky. That was a falling wedge dip. But the main trade here is, once again, your Ethereum. It's not necessarily over in that world. We did get a big move here, so we could have a little pull through a grind line here, a little small stab down first. But it's wanting to get above these 3 key levels if you saw my previous clip. That's it from me. Trade small, trade safe. These are all your own trades if you choose to do anything, and look forward to seeing how the Ethereum, this is the primary idea, how the Ethereum plays out here. On balance of probabilities, upside for me, and a 16.5 run. That's the call, that's the trade. Let's see how it pans out. Sticking my neck out, and let's see what we do.